For many years, Sparta feared Athens and its growing power. After the Persian Wars, an alliance of city-states was formed by Athens to help protect Greece from further attacks by Persia. This alliance, called the Delian League, was taken over by Athens during its golden age in order to build an empire. City-states outside of Athens were forced to remain in the Delian League, and money was collected to help rebuild Athens after the wars. So, as Athens expanded further, Sparta became more and more suspicious and created allies of its own. In addition to this abuse of power, Athens began attacking cities outside of Greece in order to gain more trade routes. Athens grew in population during the Golden Age, and Pericles wanted to ensure food for everyone. Therefore, he conquered land all around the shores of the Aegean Sea, hoping to provide more access to grain and supplies. Finally, in 431 BC, Sparta had had enough. Backed by its many allies, Sparta threatened to declare war unless Athens agreed to free all of the cities under its control. Athens refused, and so began the bloody Peloponnesian Wars, which lasted more than 20 years. Athens sent its great army to blockade Spartan towns along the peninsula. In return, the fearless Spartan army marched against Athens, burning and looting its villages. Crops were destroyed and slaves escaped. Pericles attempted to save his people by calling all citizens living outside the city walls to come inside for protection. But the mighty walls of Athens could not save it from the disease within. A terrible plague killed a quarter of the population. Weakened by hunger and so crowded together, the disease was able to spread rapidly. Then, Pericles died, which left Athens without a leader, helpless and hopeless. Still, the Athenians continued to fight. In 413 BC, they attacked Sparta's allies on the island of Sicily. Most of the Athenian army was captured, and the once powerful navy was destroyed. But even this did not stop the brave Athenians. Remarkably, the war still lasted over 9 more years, even though Athens never fully recovered from this loss. Athenians melted down gold and silver from their temples to help pay for a new fleet of warships. Persia had heard of the rivalry and hoped that the two powerful city-states would destroy each other. They gave money to Sparta to build a stronger and faster fleet able to overtake Athens. With this help and poor decision-making on the part of Athenian leaders, Sparta finally ended the war in victory. What happened? Athenian leaders moved their fleet to a harbor in Hellespont, located on the northeastern corner of the Aegean Sea. The Spartans waited for several days before attacking to fool the Athenian leaders into believing that the harbor was safe. They let smaller ships go to shore for supplies. When they were gone, the Spartans boarded and captured the rest of the fleet. Now the Spartans, backed by the powerful Persian Empire, blockaded the city of Athens, cutting off its food supply by land and sea. The Athenians eventually surrendered in 404 BC. Although Sparta's allies demanded that Athens be destroyed and its people made slaves, Sparta decided to leave the city intact. But the end of the rivalry did not bring peace or unity back to Greece. The Spartan kings threw out Athenian democracy and set up a system of tyrants. These tyrants were disliked and eventually overthrown by the Athenians, who attempted to recreate a democracy. This time, the democracy did not unite the people. Many young citizens refused to take part in public affairs. Others became highly suspicious of anyone displaying anti-democratic attitudes. It was during this time that the great philosopher Socrates was condemned and put to death for his teachings. For many years, smaller wars between various city-states continued. It finally took a force 50 years later and outside of Greece to bring harmony back to the country. To the north of Greece lay Macedonia, whose kings were slowly invading and conquering the surrounding lands. Under the leadership of King Philip II, Greece was united with Macedonia by 337 BC. When Philip died, his son Alexander took over and made the Greek Empire the greatest the world had ever known.